Imagine waking in a world where the one thing keeping you alive is the very dirt clinging to your skin. In medieval England, 1348. Cleanliness is not comfort, it is danger, a silent invitation to death. Physicians warn that hot water opens the body, letting poisoned air seep inside. So you hesitate, standing between instinct and fear, knowing a bath could kill you. Would you wash? Or would you survive? Before we step deeper into this world, tell me where you are watching from, and if this question unsettles you, consider liking and subscribing. Because what comes next will challenge everything you think you know about hygiene, survival, and the human body itself. You wake before dawn, not to warmth, but to cold air pressing against your skin. Beneath your feet, a layer of old rush's straw mixed with herbs crackles softly, releasing a strange blend of sweetness and rot. This is not decoration. It is a crude system absorbing moisture, masking odor, and quietly slowing decay in a world without sanitation. By your bedside, a shallow basin waits. You dip a rough cloth into freezing water, and the shock bites instantly into your fingers. You wipe your face, your neck, perhaps behind your ears if you can endure the cold. Then you stop. The rest of your body remains untouched, sealed beneath layers of sweat and yesterday's labor. Because in this world, exposed skin is vulnerable skin. The belief is simple. Repeated endlessly by scholars and healers, hot water opens the pores, and once opened, nothing stops disease from entering. Dirt becomes armor. Sweat becomes a barrier. Survival depends on remaining sealed. You are not ignoring discomfort. You feel the itch, the weight, the heat trapped beneath your clothing. But every sensation is interpreted through fear, through the invisible threat of poisoned air drifting unseen around you. And so your day begins not with cleanliness, but with calculation. Every choice is a negotiation between relief and risk. And already, without realizing it, you have chosen survival over comfort. For the wealthy, survival follows a different logic, but no less strange. They do not trust water either. Instead, they place their faith in linen, fine white, carefully maintained. It is believed that linen acts like a living sponge, drawing impurities out through the skin and trapping them in the fabric. A nobleman changes his linen multiple times a day. Each fresh layer feels cool, reassuring, almost cleansing. He believes this ritual replaces bathing entirely. His skin may remain unwashed for weeks, yet he considers himself clean. But this practice is more than hygiene. It is language. Because in this world, smell reveals everything. The scent of clean linen and subtle perfumes, musk, rose water herbs, signals wealth, control, refinement. It tells others that you have the resources to manage your body even without water. The poor cannot hide in the same way. Linen is expensive. Changes are rare, and the smell of labor, sweat, soil, exhaustion clings to them openly. You do not need to ask who works and who does not. You can smell it, and nowhere is this divide more brutal than in the mouth. Teeth are not maintained, they are endured. You scrub them with coarse cloth, salt, charcoal, crushed bone. The sensation is harsh, the damage inevitable. Gums bleed. Enamel wears down. When pain comes, it is explained not by decay, but by something alive, a worm gnawing inside the tooth. And the solution is immediate, violent, unforgettable. A barber. Iron pliers, no anesthesia. The crack echoes, the body remembers. If personal hygiene is a private struggle, then waste is a public war. And in cities like London, it is a war constantly being lost. There are no sewers, no flowing water to carry anything away. Waste accumulates thick and relentless, pressing against the limits of survival itself. Inside castles, even the elite cannot escape this reality. The guardrobe, a stone seat with a hole, hangs over a pit or moat. Gravity does the work, but nothing truly disappears. In summer, fumes rise so sharply they sting the eyes and burn the throat, turning even luxury into endurance. And yet, even here, adaptation emerges. Expensive garments, velvet, silk, fur are hung inside these foul spaces. Not out of neglect, but strategy. The ammonia rising from human waste kills fleas and moths. The toilet becomes a fumigation chamber, a place where filth is repurposed into protection. Step beyond the castle walls, and the system collapses entirely. Buckets are emptied into streets. Gutters overflow. Waste becomes part of the landscape. And hidden within this chaos is a group of men who make survival possible, the gong farmers. They work only at night, descending into cesspits filled with human waste, sometimes waist-deep shoveling by hand. The air itself is deadly. Toxic fumes suffocate without warning. Many collapse in darkness, their bodies claimed by the very filth they are paid to remove. Above them, life continues. Pigs roam freely, consuming scraps. Muckrakers scrape the streets. Every solution is partial, fragile, and temporary. But without these invisible workers, entire districts would become unlivable within days. This is not just labor. It is sacrifice, an unseen frontline in a war against accumulation, decay, and the limits of human survival. What you cannot see is what defines this world most. Inside nearly every body, something is already living: parasites, worms, unseen organisms feeding quietly within. In medieval England, this is not an exception. It is the baseline of existence. Energy drains slowly. Fatigue lingers without explanation. A swollen belly may not mean hunger, but infestation. Yet these symptoms are not linked to sanitation. They are accepted, absorbed into daily life as something inevitable. And still the human body adapts. Constant exposure transforms the immune system into something hardened, resilient, almost unrecognizable by modern standards. Where a modern body might collapse under bacterial load, theirs endures. Not because the world is cleaner, but because the body has learned to survive within it. This is the paradox. They are not weak in spite of their environment, but strong because of it. They fight back with what they understand. Garlic, vinegar, alcohol, resins used not with knowledge of germs, but with instinct and experience. Wounds are cleaned with wine. Tools are heated in fire associated with purity, long before science explains why. None of this eliminates disease, but it slows. It bends it, sometimes holds it back just enough. And so survival becomes a constant negotiation, not between health and illness, but between endurance and collapse. Every day your body is not simply living. It is fighting a silent war within itself. A war you cannot see. A war you cannot escape. You do not live in ignorance. You live inside a different logic. In Black Death, illness is not something you catch from contact. It drifts, it seeps, it corrupts the air itself. And once that belief takes hold, it reshapes everything you do. When plague tears through England, killing vast portions of the population, it does not drive people toward cleanliness. It drives them away from exposure. Bathhouses close. Water becomes suspect. Washing retreats from daily life, replaced by rituals that feel safer, even if they are not. Instead of cleaning the body, you clean what surrounds it. Clothes are aired, beaten, hung near smoke. Linen is boiled, replaced refreshed. If the outer layer appears pure, then the danger feels contained. Appearance becomes a shield, a visible signal that you are managing the invisible. Even your home reflects this belief. Herbs are scattered across floors, not only to mask odor, but to communicate control, discipline, status. A fragrant room suggests order. A foul one suggests failure, even if both exist under the same conditions. And gradually, something changes within you. The overwhelming smells, the layered noise, the constant presence of decay, they fade into the background. What would shock a modern mind becomes normal. Your senses adapt because they must. But this adaptation comes with a cost. Parasites thrive. Infections linger. The body carries burdens it does not fully understand. And yet you continue, not because it is easy, but because there is no alternative. This is survival shaped not by knowledge, but by interpretation. A world where fear does not paralyze it, organizes, directs, and ultimately sustains life. To look back at medieval life and see only filth is to miss something far more important. These people are not careless, not lazy, not unaware. They are operating at the very edge of what is possible, constrained by technology resources and the limits of human understanding. Water is difficult to access. Fuel is expensive. Soap is rare. Knowledge is incomplete. And yet within those limits, people still reach for dignity. They groom their hair. They change linen. They scatter herbs. They create order inside chaos, not because it makes them clean by modern standards, but because it makes life bearable. Cleanliness in this world is not a habit. It is a negotiation. A fragile balance between protection and decay, between comfort and survival. Dirt is not simply neglect, it is strategy. Smell is not just discomfort, it is communication. And when you begin to understand that something shifts, the medieval world no longer smells like failure. It begins to smell like endurance, like resilience, like millions of lives pushing forward day after exhausting day, doing the best they could with what they had. So if this perspective changed the way you see history, tell me what surprised you the most. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories that uncover the hidden logic of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you for watching, and wherever you are, stay curious, stay aware, and I wish you clarity in every story you explore.